Hello, I'm Chris, and this is my first vlog about being transgender. Please excuse the audio quality. I am currently using my boyfriend's iMac because I couldn't figure out how to get my camera to record and focus on my face and not shake at the same time, because I touch technology and it falls apart and dies. For the past few years, as I've come to terms with being transgender, a lot of what guided me was YouTube videos, oddly enough, and the wonderful forums over at susans.org. Maybe I can make a link appear. I don't know if YouTube lets me do that, if I have to do it in iMovie. But if I can, it'll show up here. If not, I'll edit this part out. I also wanted to document my own sort of transition journey, since currently, as of August 4th, 2015, I am not on testosterone, and I will hopefully be starting in a week. I wanted to sort of document that and provide information as I go along to help with other transgender people or gender questioning people with their own journey. So after I came home from my visit with the Santa Paula Clinic, Santa Paula West in Ventura County, shout out to you guys, you're awesome. I got home and updated Facebook and said, yay, I did it, I got through it, it was great, yay. And I was just bombarded with messages like, how did you do it? First I talked to my primary care physician, who was honest with me and told me that they didn't have a specialist. And I honestly wasn't surprised. But she was really helpful and referred me to the Santa Paula West Clinic, which is an LGBT clinic run through a larger clinic. It's clinics on clinics, but because it's part of a larger clinic, I was able to get insurance coverage. Yay, insurance! Thanks, Obama! So this was an informed consent clinic, which means that there is a doctor-patient dialogue, instead of a, doctor-psychologist-patient dialogue. I'm sure there's a lot to be said about the latter option of doctor, psychologist, patient. When there's a wall between the doctor and the patient, I think it just messes things up. You don't need another person to explain how you feel to your doctor, because a lot can get lost in translation, even between professionals. And especially with transgender people, gatekeeping can be really dangerous, especially when it comes to gender expression, because nobody can fully explain how you feel in your own skin other than you. So yeah, I was really glad to find out that this was an informed consent clinic. What that means is that the practitioners and I went over a list of risks and side effects associated with me taking testosterone. We first started by watching a video which sort of outlined, the major risks and side effects associated with taking testosterone. I say risks and side effects because some of the things associated with taking testosterone may be desirable to you, like they were to me. Some of the stuff associated with taking testosterone is hair growth, body hair growth, and someone on Twitter wanted to know about the sort of questions that they ask at the clinic. The major things they really want to know from you are your history, your family history associated with cholesterol, blood pressure, any heart disease, things like that. It's really important that you be honest with your doctor about these things, because they're not there. Okay. Hang on. Let me just, before I go further, let me stress that the people at an LGBT clinic are not there to judge you. The vibe that I got was more of a continuous conversation. I didn't feel like my transness was being judged, or that I had to earn my right to transition. I honestly felt like the most important thing to the practitioners was that I felt happier this way, and that they recognized that. So yeah, mostly they just want to know about anything that may cause you physical harm later down the road, so that you can keep an eye on it. Very early on in the appointment, I realized that this was 100% my decision. The doctors are just there to make sure that you transition as safely as possible. And speaking of safety, if you smoke tobacco and you want to transition, I would quit. Because like with any hormone therapy, and that's testosterone, or if you're taking birth control, you know, if you have a uterus and you're taking birth control that's putting estrogen in your body, there's an increased risk of blood clots. So if you're smoking, this is gonna, you know, shoot that risk right through the roof, and you don't want to mess with that. So since it's gonna be, you know, changing your blood pressure and your, you know, blood thickness, that was one thing I learned. Taking testosterone will change the viscosity of your blood. But yeah, just quit smoking, please. It's better for hormone therapy, and it's better for you, and it's better for your lungs, and it's better for people around you, and you smell better too. Okay, we're getting too silly now. This is a no silly zone. Nope. Nope. So, after I discussed all of my physical health issues with my doctor, we talked about my feelings. It was a little bit nerve-wracking to start, but once we got going, I found it was a lot easier to talk about, you know, the things that have been going on in my head a little bit. It was really affirming to talk to somebody about my feelings who understood even an iota where I was coming from. So often in, you know, the medical health community, people just have no idea how to approach transgender people. A lot of people view it, unfortunately, as a mental disorder. And, you know, it's honestly really hard to explain to somebody who doesn't experience dysphoria. Dysphoria is just such a monster of feelings that sucks. But the point that I brought up with my doctor was that once I started presenting in a way that was more comfortable for me, my self-esteem just shot through the roof. And that's the most important part of transitioning, is that you feel comfortable in your own skin. That's the opposite of dysphoria, is just, if you don't understand what dysphoria is, if you're a cisgender person and you're like, I don't get it, just, you ever just put something on and you just feel so good about yourself? That's what transitioning does for trans people. It's, feels so good to love yourself. And it was just really nice to talk to somebody who understood. And for me especially, I have a lot of issues with doubt relating to the fact that I don't perfectly fit, you know, the clear-cut transgender narrative, if there is one. Caitlyn Jenner is a household name right now in the trans community, and it's a blessing and a curse, because Caitlyn is a beautiful woman, but she aligns herself with, you know, the binary. For a lot of us, it's a little bit of a muddy zone, and that's okay. And that's sort of the, you know, attitude that I drew from my doctor, was that I can transition and still, you know, explore my gender. So after we explored the Fifi zone, and for those not in the know, Fifi is a very scientific term for feelings, I was given an order sheet, which is something I'm going to bring to another clinic tomorrow and get lots of blood work done. And they're going to check up on all sorts of things. And my list is CMP, CBC, HA1C, LI+. Okay, when I first saw this, I thought it said lupus. TSH, it's never lupus. Oh, it's vitamin! D25OH and PROL. And that's tomorrow. So hopefully after tomorrow and I give a whole bunch of blood, I will make another video. Though I assume it'll just be something along the lines of, I gave blood! Woo! And I can tell you how that all went. And hopefully in a week, I will be starting hormone therapy myself, and I can let you know how that goes then. Oh, now I'm thinking about needles. Oh my god, I hate needles. Thank you for watching my video. I hope it was entertaining and also educational. Feel free to message me on all sorts of social media if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.